Still bright at 5:30 now. That's crazy. The light is coming back, and I'm very happy for that. So I thought I'd jump on today and do some editing. Carletta the Great on Twitter, she is the greatest. She asked me about final photos from the lifestyle shoot that I posted a couple of days ago, if I was going to post some photos. So I haven't edited them yet, but I thought I would jump on and show you guys some behind the scenes of what I do when I'm editing. And I am I feel like I'm a very basic editor. I don't like to do too many things. And I don't know that many tricks. So I call myself the lazy editor. And quote for today. So today's quote is, just to throw that in, is every worthy act is difficult. Ascent is always difficult. Descent is easy and often slippery. And that is by Mahatma Gandhi. So again, continue on with that theme of, things that are worth it are hard. You got to keep working. Keep working, keep working, keep working. So, onwards and upwards, I'm going to open Lightroom. I'm going to try to make this quick. I'm going to open Lightroom. So what I do is once I have, hey Gerard, once I have finished my photos, who am I looking for? That's Melanie. Once I finished doing, I thought I uploaded it already. Maybe I didn't. Done the shoot. I upload everything into Lightroom to do my first cull and pass. So let's see. I thought I had, because, I like to do that. What are we now? We're February, right? Yes, we are. We are February. I could have sworn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to import. And then I'm going to go to select source on the dialog box. Other source. I'm going to navigate to my computer. Because I'm running out of space, I've got stuff stored all over the place here. And I'm going to go into my raw files from that shoot. And see, they are imported. So what did I do with them? I put them somewhere. So let's cancel that. I know I did look at them briefly, which sometimes I do. So I got to figure out where I looked at them. Oh, there they are. They're right there. So, here they are. These are the photos. This was a fun shoot. It was a different shoot for me. We tried something a little bit more creative, and full disclosure, I'm not a photographer that shoots from concepts. I really consider myself a more traditional portrait photographer and or lifestyle photographer. I'm not really a conceptual photographer, so this was pushing outside of my limits. But it's good because, sometimes you got something really amazing. Sometimes you don't, but regardless, you learn something. So I've got some images here. And what the great thing about Lightroom is when you're culling, you can go into the develop module and you can see the images fairly large. And you can arrow through. I use my arrow key. And you can use the rating system. I use the stars. And you can just hit the 1 key, the 2 key, the 3 key. And it stars from a star of 1 to a star of 5. And you can select your images. So I usually do a first pass. Star all my ones to say these are the ones I like. Then you could go down to the filter. Hit all your stars. And it'll show you everything that you've selected. And these are the ones I selected. And then I go back to my library module. I select all, Control A. I export those choose the file that I'm going to export them into, which is here. I've already exported them, so I'm going to go ahead, cancel all that. So typically when I export as a JPEG in Adobe RGB, color space, quality 100, and I do nothing else. If I was doing a proof, I would resize it, I would add a watermark, I would change it to color space sRGB for viewing on the web, but that's not the case here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to open up Photoshop, and I'm working on Photoshop Elements, so it's really just, again, when I say I'm a basic editor, I only work on Photoshop Elements. So you don't need a huge, like when you're getting started, you don't need like the shiniest, biggest, brightest. You just really need what works for you, and you build on that. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go find just this folder, JPEGs, and I'm going to work on the lifestyle images. Now, with Photoshop, with the amount of memory on my computer, I'm not sure how many images I can load at one time. Usually like 10 is good. So I'm going to load the first batch. We were shooting backlit to the window. And just give you an idea of how these images turned out. So if you haven't seen the video as these load, and I don't know, maybe you can't see my screen. Oh no. There you go. Now you can see it. So I'll just keep talking, but you can sort of see the screen now as things are loading. The hard thing with Periscope and using your phone is you really have no control over the settings for light and exposure on your phone as you are scoping. So this is what we're dealing with right now, but I think you can have an idea of what things look like now. So these are the images. All these images have only been, what I typically do in Lightroom is I adjust for any exposure, sharpness, I'll do some recovery in Lightroom, and that's all I do in Lightroom. And if I could do everything in Lightroom, I would not open Photoshop. Unfortunately, there's a couple of things that I have to do in Photoshop that I cannot do in Lightroom. So here's Jess. I'm going to go back to I'm going to close out of Lightroom now, just because too many resources open. I'm going to go back to Jess.